مليح، اما بالورا ورا ورا عشان سولد اوت، كل العالم رح يجوا يعوا كله. نوقف
in the city of Chicago, and we will talk about that later on. But ahead of us over here on the left-hand side, we have the Sheraton Hotel. Between us and the Sheraton, it's underneath these bridge houses. Those counterweights are so finely balanced, the engine that powers these bridge lifts only puts out 90 horsepower. Now, the Sheraton Hotel over here on the left-hand side is one of the premier hotels here in the city of Chicago. It boasts, when the French came in, they called this Chicago, and that became Chicago when the name was anglicized. It refers to the plant that grew along the banks, the Chautauqua plant, this stinky, smelly onion grass. Without ever getting its feet wet. And whenever it would rain, the river would rise, flood its banks, flow through that will end a game of Oregon Trail. So we decided to fix this problem. Step 1. Chicago Fire of 1871. But, excuse me. However, sewer systems do not burn. The infrastructure was left behind and we were able to rebuild. Step 3. Our fire, and they sued us all the way up to the United States Supreme Court about it. So, throughout the 1890s, it became a race between St. Louis's lawyers and Chicago's workmen, and by December of 1899, it looked like the lawyers might just win. The United States Supreme Court had filed an injunction against us, and they sued us all the way up to the United States Supreme Court about it. So, throughout the 1890s, it became a race between St. Louis's lawyers and Chicago's workmen, and by December of 1899, it looked like the lawyers might just win. The United States Supreme Court had filed an injunction against us. Sea water. Now, the Supreme Court did eventually rule in our favor. They said, okay, we will make it a law that says no one is allowed to dump their garbage into the Mississippi River. And St. Louis said, that's great. Oh, in Canada. And the reason that every single person who bordered the Great Lakes was suing us at the same time is because over the course of 30 years, we had made every... Oh, in Canada. And the reason that every single person who bordered the Great Lakes was suing us at the same time is because over the course of 30 years, we had made every gates behind us and filled the chamber with water using a complicated and sophisticated process known as opening the gate in front of us and letting gravity do its thing. 6,000 gallons of water will pour into the lock chamber. I like to take something of an informal census. I like to know where everyone is from. How many folks on board are from the city of Chicago? How many locals? We have a couple of folks. All right. How many folks are from the rest of the state of Illinois? Who on board is from the suburbs? Chicago, those panels would become waterlogged, making them much heavier than they had ever been designed to be. And then during the winter, University of Illinois campus in the 1930s, and it lived up to its namesake during the 1940s. They did some research on the plane and found that the pilot was still alive. They contacted the pilot and said, sir, you're not going to believe this. We found the plane you lost in Lake Michigan back. See the 5 tallest buildings in the city of Chicago. So I am going to go looking off to the right, starting all the way up to the right, and move my way to the left. Lowest floor with doors that open to the outside to the very top of the architectural design. The top of the architectural design on the Trump International Hotel is that... No comment. Currently blocking out the Trump International Hotel, we have the St. Regis Hotel. Finish in 2020. Some people are surprised to hear me say that because... to the sidewalk. Don't worry, those boxes are held in place using the latest and greatest in suction cup technology. But at the base of the tower, what you will find is a $1 billion renovation.
last 2 years of my life. I love you. I want to be with you. You want to win. And I want you to continue to.